Creating a photography portfolio is preventing you from getting hired. And if you don't believe me, I'm going to show you how it personally stopped me from getting a client and what you should do instead to at least 5x your chances of closing the deal. But before we get into it, let's first define what a portfolio is and also what its purpose is. So a portfolio is really just a collection of work in a certain genre. So you can have like a wedding portfolio, a brand portfolio, a travel portfolio. I think you get the point. So if we're just trying to show that we're competent at a certain skill or genre, then this is great. But chances are you're watching this video because you want to get hired and, more importantly, get paid top dollar by those clients that hire you. So just showing them you're competent is not enough. So chances are you're watching this video because you want to create a portfolio, but let's get into why are you creating the portfolio to begin with. So if you watch most videos, they're going to tell you that it attracts an ideal client or that it showcases your unique style, but I would argue that all of these are for the one purpose of you getting hired by a client. So if the main reason clients hire us is because our content looks good, then this is a great option, but unfortunately, that's not the case. So why do clients actually hire us? Well, clients hire you to solve a very specific problem in their business. And just for the record, I'm talking specifically about brand or commercial photographers here. I mean, think from the client's perspective. If they need to hire somebody to shoot content for them and they have me over here and I have a portfolio that's similar to the type of work that they want, and then on the other side, they have another creator, very similar portfolio, good quality content, they're going to reach out to both of us and probably like 10 other people as well. And they're going to ask for a quote. So I'm going to send them a quote. Maybe I say it's $5,000. This guy says that he'll do it as a free collab. Someone else says they're going to charge $500. Guess what they're going to do? They're going to put it in a spreadsheet. They're going to see who's the cheapest. And as long as the content looks good, they're going to hire the cheap guy. Why? Well, because the content is just another small piece of the bigger marketing puzzle. They need the content to be used for something, and you are just kind of a cog in the wheel that allows them to get the content so they can use it for the bigger, greater purpose. So unfortunately, I actually experienced this pricing war firsthand, probably just like you. So I would create these beautiful portfolio websites or media kits or even pitch decks that had tons of my images, and I would make it look really pretty, spend a lot of time on it. So whenever a hotel would reach out, I'd just blast that out to them and I'd be like, wow, my images are going to sell themselves. The problem? Well, I almost never got a paid gig. The reason why is because there was a bunch of other creatives who I'm sure the brand was in contact that were sending their portfolios that had similar quality work to me. So if I'm here trying to charge like $5,000 for the project, which is probably a reasonable rate, whereas they're trying to do it as a free collab project or as maybe they're charging like $500 or something, well, guess what? If we have similar quality portfolio, the brand's going to go with the cheaper person every single time. So as a result, I lost out on tons of business. So if just building the portfolio is not the answer, then what do we need to actually create for brands to look at? If our goal is to get hired by a client, wouldn't it make sense that we give them as much information as possible so that they want to hire us? So in order to do that, we have to know why a client would actually hire us. So I came down to three main reasons. The first is you have to have a competency in a certain skill. The second is you have to have proof that you've done similar type of content for similar type of brands in the past. Third is that you have to have proof that your content drives actual real business results. So the simple portfolio that we talked about before kind of covers the first two. It shows that you're competent in a skill, and in a lot of cases, people will show similar brand work. If you're not doing that, you definitely need to be doing that. But it absolutely neglects number three, which is really the most important part of the entire process, which is the social proof. I mean, think about it. When you go on Amazon and you're looking to buy a product, what do you look at? You look at number one, the images or the portfolio, and number two, the reviews. So even if you have two identical products, two identical product pages with the same photo, same description, everything, and one has 0 reviews or like 3 reviews, and the other one has 1,000 5-star reviews, you're going to go with the 1,000 5-star review one every single time. Why? Well, because the reviews prove that people actually have had good experiences with this product or that they got good results with it. So you're going to trust the mob. And in the same way, brands are going to be putting their money on a creator, whether it's you or someone else, but they're going to make that decision on who they give it to based on perceived likelihood that they're actually going to get the result that they want. If you're just showing them pictures that you've done in the past, then that's not a high perceived likelihood that they're going to achieve the goal that they actually want to achieve. So the best way to actually show a client that you can get results is through a case study. So a case study is very similar to what a portfolio is, but the only difference is that it actually builds in that social proof aspect. So any good case study really builds off of 4 core components. The first one is you have to define the before state of the client. So if you've done work in the past, really think what was the primary or the core reason that the client decided to work with you? I mean, before working with you, where was the client at in terms of their business, in terms of how they felt about their business? It could be things like engagement rate or how their content was was, or how their ad efficiency was, or how many views they got on videos. It could be all kinds of different things, but just think about what that initial state was that the client was in that kind of prompted them to want to work with you. The second thing you need is the after state of the client. So after working with you, what improvements did the client see in their business? So of course, this could be things like revenue or sales, of course, but it could also be things like engagement or followers, or it could be other things like brand equity, how they were perceived in the marketplace. There's all kinds of different ways that we can kind of spin this end result, but the main thing we want to do is speak directly to what your future ideal client would want to get out of working with you. So if they were to just sit down, point blank, tell you this is what we hope to achieve by working with you, what would that be? And that's how you want to tailor your end result in your case study. The third thing is you want to have a customer quote of some kind. So just like on Amazon pages, people have reviews and quotes from previous clients, we want to have the same on our case study as well. And sometimes this isn't going to be directly about your work or the results that it produced. Sometimes it might be more like a character case study where it's like, oh, they were great to work with, or they delivered on time or something like that. But anything that you can have to put there is going to be great. And the fourth and final thing you need is example assets from the campaign. So this will be the photos or the videos that you created. And it's not going to have to be every one of them, but it's going to be some of them. So kind of think of it almost as a mini portfolio. And then ideally, you have screenshots of the progress that you made. So it could be increased follower number. Maybe it's their ad ROAS that you have a screenshot of. There's all kinds of different things you can do, or potentially engagement on a post as well. If you have like a before and an after, so you can show the engagement difference, that's another way you can do it as well. So the four things you need the before state of the client. You need the after state that speaks directly to what your future clients want by working with you. You need to have a customer quote of some kind. And lastly, you need to have those example campaign assets and the example results that you actually got for your previous clients. Now, if you're watching this video and you're like, dang, I really need to create a case study, but I don't really have any examples, I actually created a video that you can check out right here that talks all about how to create those case studies, even if you don't have them already. So now, instead of spending the next week or month refining and defining what your portfolio is, just take that time and make 2 to 3 case studies that are highly targeted and highly specific to your ideal client. And if you do it right, it's going to give you every single reason for a client to work with you. It's going to show that you're competent in a certain skill or genre. It's going to show an example of similar work that you want to do for future clients. And most importantly, number 3, it's going to give social proof of you getting actual results for a previous client. Now, if you watch this whole video and your goal is to scale to a minimum of $10,000 a month with your content business, but you realize that there's a whole lot of steps to it that maybe you aren't quite sure how it works yet, then go ahead and schedule in a free call with a member of my team. He's going to walk you through our step-by-step framework that shows you exactly how to scale your business, basically the roadmap to $10,000 a month and beyond in terms of who you need to hire, what frameworks you need to use, the systems and automations and all that kind of stuff. So if that sounds like something you need, go ahead and click the link in the description below to schedule in a time, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.